Map number 2, mousesports versus Mad Lions. And if you told me this morning the Mad Lions would have a one-map lead against arguably one of the top 5 teams in the world, I probably wouldn't have believed you, but yet here we are.
Here we are, and they owned it as well. It's not like they had crazy clutches or anything that went drastically wrong for mousesports. They just played a really solid game. Bit of a resurgence from the mousesports boys towards the end. They got 5 rounds in a row by virtue of that. A crazy boost towards T-Spawn. But moving on to Dust 2 now, more familiar territory for mousesports. Problem is, though, as I noted, we didn't see Voxic AWP get warmed up at any point during Vertigo. I'm not sure if that's going to have a huge effect, but maybe something
to be fair, Voxic was the one that told you he didn't really see much from them on Vertigo. Maybe he's just not into that map on the AWP. We know Kerrigan has played it very situationally as far back as TSM days, even in the phase days. CT side of Dust 2 comes to mind, which is interestingly enough where we're going. But yes, I do think he'll bring it out. Warm-up's an interesting thing because I'm sure he did shoot some bots this morning like they always do when they sit down and make sure the configs are working at the very least, let alone warming up. But yes, now you put a map in the middle of it, so he's not going to have as much time on the weapon, but these guys have done it so much. The hours that they put in, it should come flying back to a muscle memory. Not to say it's not impossible people don't have off games. That can certainly happen, but warm up to me is okay. I'll take it with a grain of salt.
Well, I've been saying for the last couple of years, I suppose. Voxic on Dust 2, he's one of the scariest AWPers you can face. Which one he's on that CT side? He's very dynamic and aggressive. Even when he gets an opening pick, he won't stop there. He'll keep going. He's unrelenting at points. And Chris J as well, that double AWP setup potential. There's a lot of power there, and I'm sure Mad Lions will have to work it out for them. But I still think at 2-0, there's a possibility here. The way they're playing today, the way everyone's looking as a unit, it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, and that's the insane aspect, is that you come in, like we said, coming into this event, not to discount some of the teams that are lesser known that are here. Certainly Mad Lions, Godsent, those are the 2 we have left in that situation. They've put in the work, but when you are a favorite at an event like this, when you're not on a big stage that's part of a Grand Slam or one of the pro leagues that, whether it's whatever league this year, we've got so many coming up, but you still have to perform. And in some ways, it's actually, you have more to lose than gain just by winning the event or being in the final of the event. And if they lose this to Mad Lions, okay, you and I witnessed it. I'm not going to say like they didn't play well or that Mad Lions didn't deserve it, but when you just put that in front of most people, it does raise some eyebrows.
Yeah, I think it does. But mousesports, they had such a fantastic end of 2019. Even if they completely flopped out this tournament, I don't think there'd be alarm bells going off necessarily. We saw Liquid at Blast earlier this week, feeling like they weren't ready for the year just yet. They kind of took some time off to evaluate what happened towards the end of last year, why they started to burn out so much. This is more like his kind of funny as sea legs again. I think
the interesting thing about that is that Liquid came off the back of the player break. They were dominant right to the player break last year. The most insane Intel Grand Slam I've ever seen. I don't think we'll ever have a record beat. 4 from 4. Okay, you might have 4 from 4 game, but also 8 days between them. That's pretty impressive. Won many other events in that time. They were undisputed number 1. It looked like they were going to dethrone Astralis. They had during that time, but more permanently than that. And then the player break hit, and they came back looking sluggish. And there was rumors that some of the personality issues were starting to present themselves again, and that once the winning stopped, all the problems reappeared. And then they kind of stabilized, but now we're coming back off Christmas, and here we are to the first event, and they also got battered. So there is some questions there.
I feel like Katowice is going to be the ultimate litmus test to see where we're at. That's going to be the first AAA event coming up. Every big team's going to want to perform at that event. Very iconic in that sense. And I don't know, some of these kind of underdog teams, the ones that are kind of in the shadow of the big names right now, they're starting to get better and better. I haven't seen such a competitive landscape in CS ever, to be honest with you. It's so exciting to see how good the individuals are, and now to kind of see that come together with these great in-game leaders, kind of getting the most out of these players as well. It's really pretty exciting, to be honest with you. This is the healthiest CSGO's been in things of team chemistry and kind of skill brought together. I think this is an absolute peak. And this next map, Dust 2, mechanical skill is going to be a massive part of it. There's not too much in terms of the executions available. It's very spawn-based, and that's why we don't see it as much these days.
I was almost thinking the other day, because we're finally to that point where the bottom teams are catching up to the top, sure, we still have our obvious ones, Astralis, Liquid, FaZe. Na'Vi to an extent, we know that they can be consistent. At this point, because there are teams like Mad Lions and Godsent that are certainly playing well enough and capable enough to perform on a big stage, what if we just wiped the slate clean? Gave everyone 2 months, whatever your results are, that's your rating, that's how the invite system is going to be dealt with. I mean, it's never going to happen, is it? But it's right now is a good time to do that, because I think there's still some bias. We don't have franchising per se in Counter-Strike. We have an open market, but there's more and more being done to create, whether it's exclusivity or allegiances within leagues, and some of these teams are on the outside of that, and I think should be in.
I think this year will be very good for that sort of mentality going forward. We're kind of getting to the point now where the leagues might be more regionalized in terms of we won't see these big matchups every single week. We won't see the number 1 and 2 in the world play every other week, right? I wouldn't mind it too much if you had like a crescendo at the end of the year or a narrative of these teams from either league came in and it was like a big clash towards the end of the year. That would be really cool.
Yep.
I don't know, for me, like in the last couple of years, I've seen the best teams in the same finals over and over again. It takes the magic away somewhat,
well,
I guess.
And we touched on that. I mean, there was something very romantic about the Swedish derby back in 2015, and when you and I were getting started as a duo, and you had Fnatic versus NIP, and it was a treat to get to cast that and commentate that, and certainly be a viewer for that, because that was the rivalry at the time. And whenever that match came up, sort of once a month, it was a big deal, and you could see it in the viewership. It was reflected. It would get 200, 300,000 viewers, 100,000 viewers, when you would get 60 to 80 for all of the other games on the same evening.
Are there even any great rivalries?
Well, that's the thing, because everyone plays everyone so much, it's kind of faded out.
It was Liquid Astralis for a bit, but
exactly.
That's kind of like that. I'm not excited about that right now, considering what Liquid have just put down in blast.
OG versus ENCE for the sake of the narrative, but again, they're not on a top level. We don't get to see that on the stage.
If they were
There's
like
no blood in
exchanging
that
blows
sense.
and taking maps of each other and like kind of super close games, sure, but that didn't
I would have said Vitality was starting to get to that point, certainly against teams like Na'Vi, because there was Simple versus ZywOo. You could get the build into it. You could also say that when they were on the stage in Cologne, they made it clear that they didn't have to play the 5 ZywOos meme that was made toward Astralis, and that they were going to have a good time and going against that. It was much easier to play against Astralis because they were a team, and then G2 got battered, Liquid got battered, all these people got beat for it. And there's been a number of things that have been, but because it's so saturated, it's hard to really develop that. The last great rivalry that I remember being a part of, and I'm sure there's more frequent ones that if someone brought them up, I would agree with you, but the one that I remember most fondly was Luminosity versus Na'Vi at the time.
Yeah, I remember that. We did the quarterfinal for that one. Again, I remember when we were getting ready to cast that game, we didn't think it was going to deliver. We didn't think it was going to be a big deal, but it turned out to be one of the most exciting series of the entire tournament. I remember that Dust 2 game especially.
Yeah, it was at Cluj. And from the window of Cluj to Columbus, Na'Vi, I think, had 8-1 in map totals against now that would be series totals, but it was map totals at the time, including, I think, Pro League Season 2 in Burbank and a bunch of different events. And then we hit Columbus, and Luminosity beats them in the major final. It was like the perfect redemption arc to the whole story and the whole rivalry. So that was the last one that I remember seeing develop as a long-term thing.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I guess one that could be quite interesting would be like Evil Geniuses versus Liquid now, because they kind of both dropped off in terms of their crazy form in 2019. So they're both kind of rebuilding now and kind of evolving and going to try and battle for number 1 in NA. That's going to be one to follow for sure. These Danish derbies coming in as well. Maybe Astralis not involved in that, but the kind of battle for number 2 in Denmark right now is pretty interesting with Heroic and these boys on the server right now, and North trying to stabilize by bringing back MSL. So Danish CS and the matchups, the derbies we get are always a lot of fun. And with these guys, Mad Lions, getting better and better, it seems every map, they're certainly going to be in contention for that conversation as time goes on.
Yep.
So map number 2 starting very shortly. There we go. Speak of the devil, and we get into the knife round. As we'll see, Bubsky and Co. making their way towards long. Not a big deal on Just Do, to be honest with you. Doesn't really matter what side you start. Most teams will prefer to start the CT if they get given a choice, so that's where you'll see mousesports kick things off here, and we'll be getting to this second map here. mousesports pick, a bit more of a high fragging affair. Can't rely so much on the utility, the walls of smokes. It's all about pacing, fundamentals, spawn-based gameplay. Just to note as well, we are using the older version of Dust 2. The skyboxes are not open in the B tunnels. And we'll see Mad Lions kick things off on the T side here. 2 smokes suggest they're going towards long. They should have a P250 in the mix as well. They actually don't, so if they are going long, could be a difficult one for them. Here are the odds from GG.bets. You're going to have mousesports as a heavy favorites here on Dust 2.
Well, they're map choice, and I think they are the heavy favorites in the series. Obviously, Vertigo is a little bit different. This is a fast start toward long. First contact, it is the quickest point of contact on them. I suppose, okay, look, mid doors, I'll give you that, but that's not so much a battle, more as a chance. This is where the battle always ensues. Voxic and Roy both gone. Everyone else still on 100 HP despite the exchange. Flashes out, Frozen. He'll stay on top of the box on the A site. Good coverage, but needs to be efficient. His teammates quickly rotating back through CT. Smokes down. They can do the reversed elevator boost. That's exactly what they're going to do. Good find from Frozen. They don't even need to go toward the boost. They've already got the bomb down. He's found 2. Hunden's on 1 and quickly collected by Rops. They'll fade away because the smoke is doing the exact same, and that puts them in a perfect position. I love that reverse boost. Yeah,
it always seems to work out, as we'll see mousesports deny the plant. It was a long take from Mad Lions there. Didn't have the PD-50 to battle at range, and started to get punished by those USPs. And with no plant coming through, it suggests we'll take an eco here, or they could go for Deagle's armor, I suppose. Most teams will opt for the AKs in the third. Looking at the mousesports overall buy, they've opted for FAMAS's here, a weapon that's really made a bit of a comeback into CSGO considering its price change recently and the adjustment to the spray pattern as well. We are going to see Voxic challenging towards T-Spawn. Could nail the first shot towards Bubsky by the looks of things. Long take coming through. Bad work from the Glock here. They get a second kill on Frozen. That's actually a pretty promising round considering nothing was really invested here whatsoever. If they get one more, it'll be a great round. I don't think that's going to happen though. Chris J pretty much outmaneuver them here. If they had armor, maybe they could survive this with one and done, but he should be able to pick up both if they swing. But they have boosted Bubsky in towards those long doors. Going to savor every moment at this point. He's going to be hiding in the long doors. We're going to see a bit of presence towards A from Roy here with the FAMAS, just smoking towards that crossover, trying to bait a reaction towards long. See if they can get that boost working out. This could actually work out. Nice work from Bubsy. Gets the dink, pretty much all he could do. He was low HP. Chris J with a good reaction. Gets the bomb down. And at least in over dink, there's a chance that Roy could get this kill, but he hasn't got armor. As soon as the bullet touches him, aim punch is a factor, but doesn't seem to be the case here. He's absolutely fine. 2 versus 1 now. Still time to go and plant the bomb, potentially win the round. That's very unlikely considering the setup here, and that's a nice shot from Voxic.
That's a lovely shot. Still moving, and a scout headshot through the edge of the wall. That's not easy to do. So 2 for Mouse to start off. Much better than they did on Vertigo. They were a bit sluggish on Vertigo, it has to be said. They did win the 4th round of the first half, but it took them something like 6 in a row before we saw that potential comeback start on their T side. This will be one of the last weeks. Certainly Blast, I think, is still running the older version of the map as well right now. But we'll start to see the changes that have been brought out, incorporated into the professional level of play pretty soon.
Yeah, I assume Blast from next week, or this week, we'll start using it on every other tournament after as well. Smoke towards the corner here. Long take from Mad Lions, trying to push the CTs back here. We have got that scout for Voxic once again, just rattling off shots, and it's actually a bit of a rouge. You can see 3 towards B, ready to bust their way through. It's Rock who's normally anchoring these bomb sites, but he has got Frozen with him. FAMAS in hand, and where's the spacing here? He's been complimenting Mad Lions for that sort of play recently. That wasn't their best approach, allowing them to reset the aim, and here comes Bubsky though, trying to save the round. 2 on 2 with a minute remaining. He's got a player towards short. That's with the M4, that's going to be Carrigan here. This is a very important frag. They actually dink each other. Bubsky still with a bit more HP as Carrigan retreats towards short. All for Chris J, and the bomb is down in that B bomb site.
Good headshot from Bubsky. Actually, it wasn't even that. It was just a straight body shot. It looked pretty limited in terms of what he had to fire at, so I was quick to assume, but Chris still has the bomb, even though it's a 1-on-2. They'll get together. They'll play for the trade. There's 40 seconds. They actually have a decent amount of time to make this work. So we find ourselves in this situation fairly early. And again, one can be sacrificial. The low HP may not even be required because Chris is caught peeking with a knife out and Bubsky's ready for the aim, but yeah, all they wanted to do is send one in. If he goes down to the op, they know they can trade off of it.
Well, there we have it. Mad Lions bring the round back from the dead. Didn't look like they had much of a chance there after losing so many players in the mid stages of the round. But Bubsky coming out towards long, 2 very important kills there. And down to the 2 versus 1. Chris J removed by the AK-47. Now that throws a spanner in the works. It's the pick and mousesports. They were looking very good for a 3-0 start, but now finding themselves with the Scouts, the Deagles. But we mentioned it before, these guys are some of the craziest Deagle players in the game right now. And once again, exchanging blows towards middle. Voxic, we said he's aggressive on Dust 2, Matt, and he's certainly living up to his reputation. Hits the initial shot, and Roy might just be helping himself towards B, but needs to be incredibly careful here. I don't like that. By yourself, up against pistols, you've just given a rifle away for free. If you had a MAC-10 there, cool, that's fine, but the AK given to Rops, that's dangerous.
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily want to give that gun to anyone on that team, let alone Rops or Frozen, most notably. Rops does not have a helmet, but that's okay. He's got enough that he'll be sufficient in terms of body armor because an AK headshot's going to kill him anyway, and there's an op as the other weapon. So yeah, unless they get in a weird pistol exchange, it's not a deficiency on the CT side, and oftentimes you'll see teams not purchase it on purpose to save a little bit of money as the attack goes toward the A site. Frozen's forced away by the Molotov, but not spotted yet. They are swinging. That's going to be gone in about the next 3 seconds, in fact sooner. So he can control the peak. He's trying to get a headshot angle to limit the potential damage. It's Kerrigan instead. Hey, 3 headshot deagles from Kerrigan? That's not something you normally see. He just walks up and completely obliterates them.
He absolutely does. They're going for a defuse already. They didn't even take a single casualty. And I have to say, Mad Lions haven't made many mistakes this tournament, but I really didn't enjoy that approach at all. The tightest choke point on the map, and you're sending one player in. With the AK, you've lost him, and then you force your hand at that point. You can't go back towards B's. You know you've given a rifle up that side of the map. They limp in towards the A site. They tried their best to execute, but it was very telegraphed. They've lost control of B. They have to go in towards A. 3 grenades get dumped on them towards the short position. At that point, Kerrigan, I want to see it from his POV. It sounded crispy.
I agree. I do want to see that from his POV. That's why I was kind of shocked when I was seeing one, like, from his angle, okay, sure, he's in a good position, but he's pretty exposed.
Yeah.
And his name just keeps popping up on our kill feed. Shockingly, but it's Acor that's going to get robbed. So a mid-door battle. Did Robs try and push through aggressively? Just straight caught. Speaking of aggressive and smoke and pushing, Shush finds Kerrigan at long, so that's 2 kills already for Mad Lions. They've only lost 1 player in turn, so they're in a decent situation. More so because Voxic is forced out of B. This is extremely fast.
This is a brawl. This is Dust2 DM. We'll see whether Chris J can do anything about this. He's got the AK-47 with Frozen. It's one of those rounds where it doesn't look like anything is possible here, but Chris J, when there's a will, there's a way. He always seems to be able to thread the needle some way, somehow, as they'll be coming through B tunnels here. There's only one player on the side right now, so this is his chance. If he can beat them to the bomb site, he's got a chance of holding them off now. There's the first kill map. He gets another. This round is back off of mousesports, and he's done it. 2 versus 1 now. Frozen likes these sort of rounds, but he is very far removed from the current scenario. He's got a kip. He's got a smoke for the tunnels, which would be the most ideal. You can throw from the right-hand side here. He's got an incendiary for the platform. Definitely worth going for here.
Frozen works his way over the box.
He needs to smoke the tunnels first. Molotov, you could bounce towards the bomb site floor.
Interesting. He's picked it perfect. He's figured out there's going to be one inside a closet, the crossfire, the standard setup. He didn't see anyone from the door, so it's a good anticipation, but Acor's got great positioning.
Nice try, that. I love the incendiary. It was nice to get him into a viable position to win that round. Maybe he had to swing a little bit harder on it, but still, Acor hits the shot. It's going to be 3-2, and that's a big round for them to win. Scores coming through. You can see Frozen, Kerrigan, Chris J, all around 6 frags there. Very top 4 Mad Lions is going to be Roy. And in terms of the purchasing here, I've seen an AWP, but this is not such a rare approach. You could go eco with one player purchasing the AWP and trying to win the round single-handedly. That will be Voxic. We know he likes to challenge towards T-spawn. Looks to be a tactical timeout here. Discuss their options. If you're just joining us, our first semi-final of the day. Of course, elimination on the line. mousesports lost the first map. Vertigo, their pick, move on to Dust2. And so far, keeping their head above water. It is the force buy coming in from mousesports. Now this is a big, big round. Voxic, he'll normally call these. He has so much confidence in his own ability. He can carry these sort of rounds that he'll influence his team to go for it. But they've lost Kerrigan at the start, and the MAC-10 is just so nimble.
It's nimble, but you got to give credit to the flash as well.
Yeah.
Acor absolutely nailed that. There was no defense for Kerrigan. He was trying to just keep his eyes and his head down at that point, period, inside of the ramp.
Yeah, you're dead on. The constant flashbangs there enable. Like, even if you're flashing your teammate, the fact he gets towards a pit with a weapon like the MAC-10.
I mean, Bubsky by design 2 rounds ago, he actually threw 2 flashes because normally you won't get 2 in succession like that. The first one he blinded himself because he was still staring in the same direction, but he's willing to do that because he knows he can get them on the second one. Even if they turn away in the first, he's hoping that when they turn back around, he's going to catch them. So, yeah, you're right. Even if he's blind, you just get the position from that point.
Yeah, once he gets stuck in towards the pit, it's going to be very difficult to fend him off, especially if you've got no helmets. As you can see, Rops, Voxic, no protection to the head here, and round should be done with the bomb planted. You can volley towards CT spawn at this point. They suspect the player towards Gandalf, but no one there. Just want to double check. Don't want to face check those sort of positions. And Rops went towards CD spawn here. Trying to get an AK-47 if possible. You can see Voxic saving his AWP, but a very convincing long take there. Smoke on the corner, about 3 dozen flashes being thrown over. No one could see a damn thing towards that pit position. And just confirming there's no one in CT spawn. I believe Robs is still there though, right? He is in the corner. Let's see if any AKs will rear their head.
Flying down, they do get moved around and projectiled by the bomb, so yeah, worth checking for. 3-3. Good recovery from Mad Lions. The money has certainly been in disarray for mousesports ever since round 4. They've been chasing it again. Mad Lions again on the right side of the stage where they played yesterday. Mousesports, this is their first day on the stage. They had a bye to this point in the tournament as Bubsky aggressive again. They manage actually to clear the corner. One flash keeps them back, smoke up, and he's going to flash himself through. This is so aggressive, and Chris J's gone. He can fade back through the smoke. He was willing at that point, I think, to trade himself out, but no one else peeking. He gets back, the team's there, frozen. Pistol to at least get one back on the Deagle, and they've got a headshot angle. They've got a second. Hunted at least takes him down. It got a little awkward considering Bubsky's fast play.
Oh, the boost again, and it's an ideal weapon, but they're aware of it this time. The Molotov in a prime spot there just to get them off that position. They don't check Gandalf. This is getting very scrappy now. Shush pretty much has to take this challenge, which he will, and he'll nail it. Coming in towards long though, and it's going to be Voxic somehow getting that shot on Acor. I don't know where from. As in CT Spawn, 1 versus 1 now. The jump shot, it tries to connect. It looked good for a second there, but now the reposition coming through.
Voxic knows he's going back toward Cat. He read that perfectly. Tried to distance himself, just tried to hold the wall and get away, but Voxic, rather than playing the bomb, played the man. Oh. And it works out so well, but just gets onto it. That was a hairy round. The fact that Frozen gets 2 after how much control they had at long, you're right, the Molotov was excellent as well. But Rops was completely undetected.
Yeah, very scrappy from Mad Lions there. You can see that was pure panic going on there. They felt like they cleared the sides out. It was a bit of a stack there from mousesports towards A. Gandalf was exposed. The plant comes through. You're going to be kicking yourself after going for that, what seems to be a safer plant. Might have want to go on the actual site itself, but either way, comes down to that 1 versus 1, and Voxic delivered. That's the kill he got. I wasn't sure how he got that one. Right through the gap in the smoke there. Nails that last kill. Seems like he is completely warmed up. We're going to have Rops and Voxic on the double up setup. Rops playing toward that B bomb site. Gives him a little bit more tenacity on that side of the map. Long seems to be the main point of contention for Mad Lions here. Same smoke down. You want to be dropping that smoke every round if you can, but Acor, he isn't slowing down at all. Just helps himself towards middle.
That's wide open, and he actually gets access to it. The late smoke, he might have been able to get a shot through CT sooner than that, but opportunity never presented itself. Kerrigan not quite wide of the mark. Rops is ready, and thankfully so, because Kerrigan cannot. Oh, I think he actually hit Shush. He did. Edge of the door puts him down low. He's on 10 HP. But Kerrigan couldn't push back through. They put a Molotov behind the smoke as well. Even if they were discombobulated, he couldn't take advantage of it because there was just too much damage potential against him. And bomb goes down. Acor waits, lurks in middle, and he might be able to drop CT. This is actually good. A lurk from an op, but timing is everything. If he goes right now, he can actually catch out both CT players. Kerrigan is slightly beyond the grasp, but Shush is ready for him on arrival.
He spotted a gap. He had to try and use it there. It was a 3 versus 2. If he could get a quick kill undetected, maybe there was something to be said about the round. So unfortunate for Kerrigan, but Mad Lions roaring now, especially with Acor on that AWP. He steps up, he goes towards middle doors, takes down Voxic, hits a great shot. And then holding towards short, takes down Chris J, who was flanking from long as well. So he's been one of my MVPs this tournament in terms of not really having too much information about him coming into this one, and just watching him play so much. Cast a lot of his games, always seems rock solid with the AWP. And as we mentioned, taking on one of the world's best here in the form of Voxic, and he's keeping up. 4-4. Here's the replay. Acor just watching towards middle. Brave takes a couple. Round 9 coming in, and here it is. Another force buy. It worked out before for mousesports. A single AWP. Desert Eagles, a lot of pressure on Voxic here. Makes his way towards the B bomb site, I believe. So it's going to be going for that opening pick if possible. Might even just push into the tunnels here. Just scoped up, see what he can do. Time will tell. He has got backup from Rops. I don't fancy it right now. Just holding a very aggressive angle, sure, but it's just outside the mouth of the tunnel.
Chris J. Flashed in, just goes clean. Molotov behind him, he's willing to sacrifice himself to get a kill, and it works out. Pistols take him 1 by 1, that's all you need. No gun retrievable because of that, but again, it's a decent play, but you're right, Kerrigan's already behind them, he knows it. Patience pays off in this situation, or does it, because Bubsky's wise and turns around.
Yeah.
It is a tough one because you want to line up a headshot with the Deagle exactly like that. Apparently Frozen's quicker to do so, but it's difficult with the back turn. It's all going right for mousesports afterwards though, because that information alone, they know they're heading back over toward B in middle. Op shot that misses, Rop slides underneath. He started and he'll end the round. That's brilliantly done, I have to say. Frozen, what a shot in mid.
Yeah, that's what we were saying earlier in the opening stages of Dust 2. That Desert Eagles, especially on the likes of Rops and Frozen, can be magical at times. AWP and Voxic thrown in as well, holding towards B the entire round. Didn't fire off any shots until they were fully committed. Nails the last two. And that's going to be the win taken out of the Mad Lion sails here. So tactical timeout. Peacemaker will be chiming in, trying to calm the boys down. Knowing they just lost to Deagle, it's always going to be a little bit disheartening.
Yes.
But that seems to work so consistently for mousesports. Like, especially in Dust 2, they just get a Voxic AWP out, a couple of 1-deeks, and they're off.
Oh, mousesports. Pressure's on. I mean, yes, they're off, and that's a great round, and we highlight the skill and the potential that they have, but they do need to start stringing them together, building up the economy, and certainly giving themselves a bit more to work with, a bit less pressure, because again, they're down a map already. Voxic shot, backed off, not quite to the car, just barely gets there. Taking damage will slow the movement mechanics. Seemingly, he just barely avoids death, and oh my goodness, he comes back out for more 3 kills in the round. Can't quite find the final on Dubovsky, but they know where he is. The bomb's down. They're already flanking around toward A long, so this looks to be well and truly controlled by mousesports. This will go 6-4. Big money again for the T's. There won't be a wealth of... Roy's got 71. I was going to say there's not going to be like a clean AWP buy, but he can do it for his teammates, so they're completely fine.
Double AWP setup still for mousesports here. Bubsky will be dropping the AWP indeed, and that goes towards Acor. That battle continues, but I have to say Voxic's the one that's taken the lion's shares of kills in the last few rounds here. Saving the day, especially on their force by the Desert Eagles. 6-4, round 11. Faster pace play towards middle. Double flash for the doors to dissuade Voxic from the T-spawn pick. Seems to have worked effectively for now. He'll go back towards spawn. Good grenade as well, Frozen. Bit of vision taken away there by virtue of the smoke, but still happy to challenge this one. He seems to know exactly where Hunden is. He's ready for this battle. You'd probably have your money on Frozen in this particular one, especially with Hunden seemingly detected. We'll fall back though. Good smoke. Doesn't allow them to get out at least, but that's some execution potential taken away.
Quick smoke toward the doors. Voxic tries to fire and peek before it blooms, but no one's there. So this time we reached the 1-minute mark with all 10 players still alive. One of the only rounds so far that's been the case. We've reached this point with rounds concluded and one-on-ones ensuing. So a little bit slower now that both teams have weapons again. Catwalk smoke is pretty standard. That's going to mean Chris has to back away from Carr. They don't have anyone else on the... Oh, I take it back. Excuse me. Yes, they do. What am I saying? They have Kerrigan waiting perfectly at Goose, but only for one. They Molotov'd him out. He had to go aggressive. Does mean they can see the bomb, but they have long. They'll play for the retake. And the AWP of Chris can support inside of the pit for now. They need the B players to get into the picture sooner.
30 seconds remaining. They have an incendiary double AWPs on the retake here. Might not be worth it, considering those snipers are going to struggle. They're definitely giving it a go, though, towards CT spawn. They'll be making their way through. Luckily for them, there's no T-side utility either now, so he can actually come down to these AWP headshots. We'll see if they're delivered. There's the first one. Voxic doesn't miss many. And Hunden now with the AUG on side. Needs at least 2 kills here. Not going to get anything. And this is absolutely clinical from mousesports here. With the double AWPs, you wouldn't think it'd be this clean, but they've managed to make it work with Voxic getting 3 kills, of course.
Yeah, super solid retake, and there was certainly potential for kills to get away. Shush had a good headshot lineup, he just couldn't land it. The AWP was quick. So 3 in a row. This is exactly what I was saying. Mousesports need to stabilize rounds. They need to start accumulating a surplus. They've done that now. There's not enough money for the T's to buy this time, even with the bomb plant in the previous round. They're going to go for execution, it seems, though. They've gone for Deagles. 3 smokes, 4 flashes. Hunden's gone, I say Deagles, upgraded pistols more accurately. Hunden's gone for a CZ75 even.
Yes, he has. They've got themselves 3 smokes. I would say a B split is written all over this setup right now. You've got the double smokes to CD spawn, 1 for the dribble entrance at B, and that should be a fast approach up towards the B side, hoping to shut down and surprise those double AWPs. We'll see if that comes into fruition. It looks to be the case. Smoke's being deployed now. There's the 2 towards spawn. Should be 1 towards B in about 5 seconds time as they get mid control. Ideally, platform will be Molotov. We'll see what happens here. No smoke.
Yeah,
and the bomb. Okay.
Considering they bought
That's what we're looking for.
like, what was, you just not going to use that? Like, you're absolutely right. What a tight choke point to go into cleanly. Sure, they use it afterwards. Oh, yeah, there's a guy there. We probably should do that, but it's already lost at that point in time.
You've shown the bomb. That's gone down. You could have just smoked and Molotov the platform as you're going in. You might lose a kill upon arrival, but it would be a little bit more convincing than that. Either way, Mad Lions B-split attempts not really working out for them. mousesports looking very comfortable now on their CT side. It was quite a exciting start to the first half, and mousesports seem to be dominated, and now still have a chance to come back and bring it to 8-7, but they're going to have a perfect game from this point. First shot delivered, actually hitting Voxic there through the edge of the door. Not a massive amount of damage, though. He'll be okay with that. 76 points of health as Chris J. This is what he's known for, the Flying Dutchman up towards Shaw, looking for a third. Can't quite get it yet, but that's a great start. The bomb goes down towards Shaw. 5-on-3. Doesn't have to commit to that one. Even nailed the shot, to be fair, which will be followed up by Frozen. Nice work.
Acor with not much hope inside of spawn. Minute 25, he could still benefit from a pick if someone does cross over. Bomb is further secured by a Molotov, but it's still in the vision of the T's, and as such, the CTs can't swarm it and surround it entirely. Bubsky's going to try and take advantage of the fact that they will have their attention toward Catwalk. As a result, however, Kerrigan, a little slow with the aim, but does get the kill onto him, and that should be pretty much round over at this point. The Molotov misses, the smoke does not, but Frozen slides out behind the AWP player on the T side and finds now what is 9-4.
Couple more rounds to go. Money not great either. They haven't had a plant in the last couple of rounds here, so it'll be more of the same CZs and Deagles B-split attempts, but a little clumsier today. Mad Lions, they need to be very tight and efficient. Yeah, they're going to take down a team like mousesports, especially on Dust 2 as well. Vertigo, they look great. But starting to see some holes in the offense here as Voxic very confident to peek towards T-spawn, looking to see if anyone will be crossing over. They've actually got 4 players towards the lower B area. I think there's going to flash middle. This will be Bubsky to flash over and try and take down Voxic, but he's fine. He's repositioning. And through they come momentarily. Not even a B split. There's all 5 players through the mid doors right now. Smoke down at spawn. They just commit off this, or are they trying to see if there's a reaction?
I think they secondary smoke. I think they're going to go. They've got the left side covered, so that window can't quite see in as far. Certainly the doors are limited with their options as well, and you've got to commit to pushing out of the doors to see that far with the current setup that they're in. But they're not going to go. I'm surprised there's that much hesitation. Instead, they want to go for the drop. That's a decent play, but Kerrigan got the call. Thankfully, Chris J was able to spot that. Otherwise, I think Kerrigan goes down. Awkward situation with the CZ75, and Acor is the next to join. Kerrigan will eventually fall, but Chris is still holding. No problems, no mistakes. Takes down Hunden to finalize the round, 10-4.
Yeah, almost got a bit dicey there. Chris J flashed and missing that shot as he jumps down towards CD spawn, but good comm. You saw him shouting as that was going on. So Kerrigan quickly turning around, getting the key frag there, and keeps things under control for sure. Rounds accumulating nicely now for mousesports. Haven't really been pressured in the last 4 rounds or so. Maximum loss bonus for Mad Lions, but it's the final round, and there's the opening pick. Voxic maybe a little bit overzealous there at the start of the round. Now, do they want to commit something quickly off this? Apparently so. Some of these solo plays towards long have been a bit questionable, but maybe it'll be enough to take the attention away as they go for the fast B split once again. This has to be a quick kill. Rops now, AK-47, capable of winning this round. Not going to happen. 2-on-2.
Power of that split. I mean, Rops does well to even get 1 from the closet because the timing when they wrap on him, he's pretty much hopeless. So fair play to him for at least getting 1 and giving this a 2-on-2 situation. Frozen, by the way, 20 HP. This is tough. That smoke's going to make this possible, and thankfully for his sake, the Molotov went the other direction. They no longer have any damage-dealing utility to take him down, so he is firmly in this, and he could sacrifice himself for Chris. But Chris would still have the pressure of hitting the shot on an AWP. Frozen's going to go and join him for that reason. Chris does it himself. That's brilliant to find Acor through the door.
Yeah, 2 hits there. Not too bad at all from Chris J. Oh, there it is, the war cry from Kerrigan. It's been a while. We said today we'd have a bit more banter here. And, I mean, that's not the craziest levels, but it's something.
Don't oversell that,
better than
Henry.
silence, I suppose. There it is, a very convincing first half from mousesports. Didn't really give much
What
away.
I want is him to do that in like Lanxess or something, and the whole crowd just joins in
giving
doing
it back.
That would be intimidating for the other team. Not even giving it back, just supporting it.
Sure.
Like 15,000 people doing that cry would be pretty nuts.
Well, Let's see what 100's got up his sleeve for this second half pistol, which will be going underway very shortly indeed. They kind of need this one, to be honest with you, as they try and block the smoke towards Xbox. I'm not sure they were successful in doing so, but still, Roy not slowing down, and a couple of headshots received. That will be them retreating with their tail between their legs.
I think it was a decoy, actually.
Oh, it's just a decoy? Okay,
yeah.
That's funny.
Which can be used in the pistol round to look like smokes. We saw not to in NIP. They used to do that on Cobblestone, and then we saw
Train, must have been Astralis did it on Train,
exactly.
I think, yeah.
Yep, they throw it to the A side in the opening round. Voxic and Rops to start the killing for mousesports. Trying to find their second pistol round in this game. Make it a 12-4 scoreline, maybe put it to bed early as Voxic gets Acor on top of the site. It's just Shush remaining, and I think he'll soon be shushed with this many players against him and everyone peering down over the ledge. Kerrigan finds the kill first.
Well, there we have it. Very fast-paced, up towards long. Wolfpack mentality, managing to maul their opponents.
Wolfpack versus Lions.
Exactly, yeah. As Rob's Voxic getting stuck in. Didn't let go of W. It felt like overwhelming. And this map slipping away from the Mad Lions at this point. 12-4 has to be the force by here. They've gone for 5 HE grenades. Potentially try and dump those towards long. They've done a lot of damage there. They've got a kill as well. Voxic will be dropped. Scout shot not connecting here for Chris J just yet.
Kerrigan. Quick Molotov. Acor's actually between the smoke and the flame. Smoke extinguishing flames in this game, so he's safe in that position. The fire won't spread. Hundin is ready with the CZ. I could see him getting one in this situation. Chris absolutely walked around the corner, was not suspecting him to be so close. Temporarily drops the bomb, but now Kerrigan has it back as he and Frozen head toward the site. Quick clean from Rops to find the first kill, but a scout has better accuracy, better vision to try and find the AK at the car, and he'll do exactly that, but I don't know that the Acor will be able to find much more. Could present him with one. See the gun barrel, be careful of that spray, Frozen. You don't want to welcome an upward angle. It means the headshot's actually entirely possible, but he does get the kill in the end. 3 to go for mousesports, and then we'll be on to Nuke.
Yeah, it looks like Nuke might be a bit of a lock-in at this point. mousesports look very comfortable on Dust 2 here. In terms of the fragging, of course, pound for pound across the board, mousesports have got so many hard-hitting players. Dust 2, it's a difficult map to shut them down. In a tactical aspect, they will just be using gut feelings. Any opportunity they see, they'll always leap to try and find the headshots, as we'll see them go up 13-4, and it's a full eco as well. Mad Lions in a lot of trouble here. Flash over. Could find them a kill, but Rob's ready and waiting. He's going to get only the one, but Chris J, he knows there's a few kills available here. Goes for 3, maybe 4, and it'll be Frozen to close things out there. 14-4 overall, and 1 life really remaining for Mad Lions.
Yeah, absolutely. This is the final buy. 15 rounds. Secure the overtime, but then they won't have any money to try and defend that position either, so they're going to go for the double op setup. Throw it all at the wall. Hope something sticks, hope something works. Certainly, I would say Dust 2, pretty traditional to have 2 ops. Pretty standard. Lots of options for it, as Voxic doesn't quite spot the cross. They managed to get a player cleanly over inside of the smoke, but only one has crossed over toward B. Watch the aggression on Catwalk as a result. They'll see the Molotov being thrown. Roy will get back. That does change their plans of aggression, but they'll quickly rotate off of that, go back to a more standard setup. I say that, they don't have that much presence toward long, so they do have to be somewhat careful. As Roy went back to support, he's now going to head to the cave, but 2 players already there. Frozen gets first blood. Decent utility damage. Bubsky's aware that they're coming. Good timing. He was fully blind.
He was.
But he just suspected there would be a peek, and he made no mistake in the shots. Frozen does immediately remove him after with the Krieg, however.
Damn. All right, well, the shots really are landing now. Oh, Kerrigan, that's crispy. I enjoy that shot a lot. 4-on-1, that's going to be it. Map point, not series point. This is going to be taking us to Nuke, I would say, at this stage. It's not really looking like the Mad Lions will be taking 11 rounds in a row after this one. Shush will save the M4, or at least the best to his ability, as he holds towards the B side. Doesn't look good for him, no helmet. Players starting to encroach in his position now as well. He's got a bit of action towards the door from Kerrigan, and then he'll have Voxic towards the tunnels, as the first one is great, second even better. He will survive this, but we'll see whether they want to go hunting any further. There's the scout there, not ideal.
Shush back toward the door with the M4. So they actually salvaged something from this round to make it slightly less, I guess, damaging. They're still going to be on map point at this point. No money to buy, but he'll get the M4 carried over. He has armor, he has a kit. I don't think I'm going to overstate their odds or their chances at this point in time, though. Mousesports look like we're moving on to nuke with them back in the series, and very convincingly at that. And make no mistake that Voxic, we talked about that warm-up, the fact that he didn't play the AWP on Vertigo. He's looked pretty solid this game and so far this map.
I would say more than that. He's looked incredible for me. Like the shots he's hitting, the confidence that's being displayed as well. It's difficult to get him out of that zone once he finds it. Especially those Pro League finals, they picked up the trophy. Like, he was playing out of his mind at that tournament. So fast to the AWP.
Yeah, he was the MVP of that event.
Yep,
First time for him getting an HLTV MVP award.
It was, I casted some of those big moments he had. Like, I couldn't even believe what was happening at the time. It was nuts.
Good find from Bubsky to get baited in, though. Harrigan actually wanted to go aggressively toward the smoke. They thought they cleared out middle. That's going to give Roy the confidence to push back from Catwalk. He knew there was disorientation from the T side trying to find the trade, and they get the man advantage as a result. They also have the bomb down. I'm not sure that Roy actually did spot that from over the ledge, but either way, puts himself in a great position that Chris is able to read. But don't let the aggression stop there. They want to pursue the position and make things extremely awkward for Mousesports. Drop down, did they hear it? I think Chris would have from that far away, and this is actually even better because Chris may have heard it, but Frozen's actually already sneaking in behind them. So if they think they're safe, they're far from it. Bomb's going to be recovered, and now they've isolated and segregated the two defensive players. Do need to be fully aware of Shush's position. He can catch them still. Molotov keeps him out of the door, but there's no smoke to deter the vision. And there's low enough HP onto Chris that he can make do with it. Actually, better than that, he finds the kill. He's helped tremendously by the fact that Hunded took the aggro away. He finds two, in fact, on the situation. Rops is still trying to get the bomb back. Hunded's going to subside. He has to. It's either going to come to a kill or come to the bomb sites. He wants to give himself a better chance of timing. In 27 seconds, Rops has to make that decision now. And looks like B, given that he dropped off the ledge.
CT spawn, though. Oh, Hundred, that was your chance. Up against Rops now, who does have a flashbang available to him. This is just going to come down to one bullet, and Rops will be the one to nail it. That's impressive, but to be fair, even if Hundred wins the round, what would it have really done for them? They would have gone for a couple more maybe, but...
Yeah, if that was a whiff in an overtime situation when he didn't get him crossing, I would have called it out. Sure, okay, you still want to hit those shots at this level, but you're right. But that scoreline, it's not the end of the world. I think the writing was already on the wall at that point in time. So like I said, we go to Nuke next, which will be very interesting. We've had some dynamic maps. Dust 2's the more standard straight-up brawl of
you would
the three
expect
that we've
Mousesports to win that, though, right? It doesn't really serve to the strengths of Mad Lions at all. Like, we saw how good they were on the first map, Vertigo. Loads of executions available, walls of smoke, good timings, fakes. Can't really do that on Dust 2 at all.
Yeah, no, not at all. Exactly that. And I think that now that we go back to something a little more dynamic with Nuke, there's not as much. I think even compared to the fakes, there's not as much available. But it is about smoke utilization and making sure you get map control, getting down the vents. As we talked about, you got to get the CTs moving.
Players like Voxic can't overwhelm you, you know? They can't be completely ravished by him pushing towards middle and just going for every single kill.
Yep.
So it should be easier for them to contain. It wasn't the most exciting second map, I'll say that much, but hopefully Nuke will deliver. I feel like this one will go the distance, close things out, and hopefully we'll have a very exciting finish. Hope you join us. We'll take a break and be back with the other analysts. We're going to kind of recalibrate things here. I can see those boys, they're chomping at the bit to go over here as well. They're excited. As we'll take a break and be back with the analyst desk very shortly.